Next, let's queer up the USA view. This is the most important thing Joe Biden has done for the LGBTQ plus community. You must know about this. President Joe Biden marked a significant achievement on Wednesday as his administration confirmed its 200th federal judge, surpassing the records of his predecessors. Biden's focus on diversifying the judiciary has been notable, with nearly a dozen LGBTQ plus judges among his appointees. Magistrate Judge Angela Martinez, a former assistant U.S. attorney, received Senate approval with a 66-28 vote to become a federal judge in the District of Arizona. This confirmation came on the heels of Krissa Lanham's appointment to the same court, both nominated in March by Senator Kyrsten Sinema, an out bisexual lawmaker. Biden highlighted the diversity of his judicial appointees, noting that 64% are women and 62% are people of color. He emphasized their qualifications and varied backgrounds, representing a wide spectrum of legal experience. Speaking about the influence these judges wield, Biden highlighted their role in deciding fundamental rights, including reproductive health care, voting rights, workers' rights, and environmental protections. This milestone reflects Biden's commitment to the judiciary that mirrors the nation's diversity and upholds the democratic principles of independence, freedom, and liberty. In a recent interview, White House senior counsel Phil Brest noted that among the 200 confirmed judges, 11 openly identified as LGBTQ+, matching the number appointed during former President Barack Obama's 8 years in office. He also highlighted that Beth Robinson, appointed by the Biden administration, is the first lesbian federal appeals court judge, and Charlotte Sweeney is the first LGBTQ+ woman appointed west of the Mississippi. Many LGBTQ+ people do not understand the significance of this news. Federal judge appointments are the key civil rights deciders of the future. The Trump overturn of Roe is an example in his appointments to Supreme Court. But even more important are lifetime appointments to the federal bench. They prevent implementation of laws like Florida's no drag or states' anti-LGBTQ+ legislation. These courts rule on constitutional issues that are evaluated on state laws implemented. This record of diversity federal judge appointments will dramatically affect the LGBTQ+ community for decades to come. And it's about time we start getting smart about the politics of state and local appointees. And we need to remind ourselves that 11 judges is a significant situation, especially in states like Arizona. You have 2.
Yeah.
Arizona is struggling right now with whatever identity that they're going to have. So this is a very important story that we need to, I don't know how we're going to bring it up in conversation, because it's not an easy conversation to have. It's not easy to sit there in a bar and say, hey, did you hear about... But it's important that we recognize it and we acknowledge it, and at the same time we celebrate it and spread the reality of it and the truth of it with no misinformation, no disinformation. And we realize that this is an important step for not just today, but also for 10, 15, 20 years.
For the future, for our future. Bobby?
Yes, there's an example of how important this is. Consider the federal judge in the Northern District of Texas. There's one judge, and every conservative is running to him and filing lawsuits because he's a Christian nationalist unabashedly, and he has made rulings such as banning abortions entirely. He is the judge who says that birth control should be banned, and his rulings are likely going to be overturned down the road, but we are going to talk about years and years of arguments before we get to the Supreme Court, where the 6-3 majority is going to try to, uphold his ruling.
Right.
Yeah. But district court judges are just as important as appeals court and just as important as ultimately who end up sitting on the Supreme Court bench.
Yeah.
Well, I hope Biden moves swiftly and continues these diverse appointments. 64% are women and 62% are people of color. That's pretty amazing.
That's significant.
And especially as the November 2024 election is looming large. So step on it.
Right, step on it. But also, everyone, light a candle if you believe in that kind of stuff, right? Because Biden is doing what he needs to do, right? Very, I don't want to give him love about this, but very Trump-like, right? He appointed all the shit that we're seeing right now, and all the effects are from the appointees of Trump, So this would help our future, like Buddy said. And it also, it has to maybe inspire some people at a lower level to also run for office, We don't see ourselves in Congress. We don't see black, brown women. We don't see, we don't see trans. We don't see ourselves. Representation matters. So the fact that screen full of these judges were appointed and they were all black and brown and gay made me a happy girl.
But we need to discuss this because, like Greg just said, with the election coming up, there's a lack of information on the details of what exactly the Biden administration is doing and how they're looking towards the future rather than just 10 minutes from now.
Apparently, a lot of people are very uninformed about the state. For example, I think New York Times, or is it Axios, I don't remember, one of the outlets just pointed out that most Americans think that we're in a recession when we're not.
Right.
And a significant portion of that blame Biden, which he shouldn't be blamed because that should not be true.
Exactly.
So we are looking at a major misinformation machine that's churning in the social media space, churning on cable TV, Fox News, and
entertainment channel.
And all these outlets, they are deliberately distorting the truth so that Americans don't see it or feel discouraged by what they see.
But we need to tell the younger people because we want them to vote and we want them to have the impetus to go, we have a future now.
Yeah.
So
well, this might give them hope, and a lot of the Gen Zers and millennials don't believe in Biden and think that he hasn't done anything for us, and thinks that our generation has messed up the world, and that's not true. That is for them to check that misinformation and get their information from correct sources.
Yes, that's very true.